Hello, you're watching the English News Bulletin on QPVN channel. I'm Cho Nguyễn, and now let me keep you up to date with the headlines. Irish President hosts General Secretary and President Reup. Defense leader receives outgoing Chinese counselor to Vietnam. Vietnam and South Africa strengthen traditional friendship cooperation. President of Ireland, Michael Higgins, and his spouse hosted an official welcome ceremony on October 2nd for General Secretary and President Reup and a high-ranking delegation of Vietnam who are paying a state visit to Ireland from October 1st to 3rd. General Secretary and President Reup expressed his delight at visiting Ireland, the Pearl Island, which is rich in cultural traditions. He thanked for the warm and respectful welcome that the Irish President and the Irish people have given to him and the Vietnamese delegation. Despite a geographical distance, Vietnam and Ireland share historical similarities in the long struggle for independence and development. The two countries have built a strong relationship over the past nearly 3 decades since the establishment of diplomatic relations. With the sound results, political trust, and great potential of bilateral cooperation, the two leaders believed that the Vietnam-Ireland relations will develop strongly and effectively for the benefits of both peoples, peace, stability, cooperation, and development in the two regions and the world. Since the establishment of the diplomatic relations between Vietnam and Ireland in 1996, the two countries' cooperation and friendship relations have achieved remarkable and specific results in line with the common interest of the two governments and peoples. Ireland is currently Vietnam's 6th largest trading partner in the EU market, with two-way trade turnover reaching $3.5 billion in 2023. Ireland considers Vietnam a priority partner in its development cooperation policy, focusing on education, gender equality, climate change response, and support for ethnic minorities, while continuing to provide non-refundable official development assistance to Vietnam in such fields as poverty reduction, education, training, support for people with disabilities, and mine clearance. The visit is expected to contribute to enhancing political trust and consolidating bilateral ties, promoting cooperation between the two countries. The Vietnamese delegation also laid flowers at the National Monument on Parnell Square in Dublin. The place is to commemorate those who sacrificed for Ireland's independence. On the morning of October 2nd, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, head of the National Steering Committee for the implementation of Vietnam's commitments at the 26th UN Climate Change Conference, or the COP26 for short, while chairing the 5th meeting of the committee. Regarding the implementation of Vietnam's commitments as the COP26 and the results of implementing the Just Energy Transition Partnership and the Asia Zero Emissions Community Initiative, the steering committee proposed to continue focusing on perfecting institutions serving digital transformation, green growth, and low-carbon economic development, while bettering the mechanism to attract resources for green transformation, as well as research and develop new technologies to reduce emissions. The Prime Minister highlighted that the awareness and actions of the whole political system and people has been improved. Vietnam has become a spotlight in realizing international commitments on climate change response. The commitments have been concretized into legal documents, policies, strategies, and plans for synchronous implementation. We must diversify resources. The development of mechanisms and policies to mobilize resources, including the state resources, must be used effectively. It is also necessary to mobilize contributions from people and businesses, resources from partners such as the JET, and resources from foreign investors towards green resources, green finance, green credit to serve green growth. The Prime Minister also requested to boost scientific research, technology development and transfer, innovation to develop the renewable energy industry, green hydrogen, carbon utilization and storage, focusing on training, developing high-quality human resources, and grasping new technologies to realize goals of green and equitable energy transition. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính requested relevant agencies to continue carrying out the task identified in the project concerning tasks and solutions to implement the COP26 commitments. He assigned specific tasks to relevant agencies, at the same time directing them to regularly make statistics and seriously fulfill assigned tasks on schedule. Hanoi successfully conducted its 2024 defensive area exercise. This was affirmed by General Phan Van Giang, Defense Minister, as it encouraged officers and soldiers participating in the exercise at the National Shooting Range Region 1 on October 2nd. Based on the lessons learned from this exercise, the Ministry of National Defense will instruct relevant agencies and units to continue adjusting and developing realistic operational plans to firmly protect the nation in the new context. At the event, General Phan Van Giang praised the efforts of the steering committee and involved units, especially the General Staff, the General Political Department, Hanoi Capital Command, and other military departments for ensuring the exercise success. Notably, by studying recent global armed conflicts, particularly the increasing use of high-tech weaponry and unmanned aerial vehicles, the agencies and units skillfully applied Vietnam's people's warfare theory and military art to the exercise, handling military, defense, security situations with flexibility while ensuring safety. I warmly congratulate the success of today's field training drills. All forces, including the Air Defense and Air Force and firepower units, particularly the infantry force, coordinated seamlessly with excellent training time, ensuring absolute safety across multiple training grounds. Hanoi has had a very successful exercise. General Phan Van Giang calls for continued cooperation between units and local governments to maintain readiness for complex defense and security situations. He stressed that defensive area exercises are the highest form of training, improving leadership, command, and coordination. He urged ongoing updates to operational plans to reflect real-world conditions, strengthening the military's capabilities in the new era. On the morning of the same day, Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến, Deputy Defense Minister, received Mr. Wang Ben, Counselor for Police Affairs at the Chinese Embassy in Vietnam. Congratulating Mr. Wang Ben for successfully concluding his working term in Vietnam, Senior Lieutenant General Hoàng Xuân Chiến highly appreciated the Chinese counselor for his active contributions during the term and coordination with functional agencies of Vietnam, promoting his bridging role and augmenting practical cooperation contents between the Ministry of National Defense of Vietnam and the Ministry of Public Security of China in general, between Vietnam Bodyguard Command and the China National Immigration Administration in particular, in the field of border protection and management, immigration management, crime prevention and control, security and order maintenance in the border areas and border gates, contributing to building the Vietnam-China border of peace, stability, friendship, cooperation for common development. For his part, the Counselor for Police Affairs of the Chinese Embassy in Vietnam sent thanks to the defense leaders of Vietnam for always creating favorable conditions for him during his term. He affirmed that in any position, he would work to help promote the ties between the two countries in general and the two border protection forces in particular. As part of the second Vietnam-Laos Border Defense Friendship Exchange on the morning of October 2nd at Long Sập Border Gate in Sơn La Province, the Vietnam Bodyguard Command presented 20 scholarships to 10 Vietnamese and 10 Laos students within the Paving Children's Way to School program, as well as 60 breeding cows to 30 Vietnamese and 30 Lao border households. On this occasion, young officers of the two border protection forces together planted friendship trees and flowers around border marker number 255 and organized a cross-border marathon during 120 participants. Such meaningful and practical activities have been enthusiastically responded by the border protection forces, authorities, and border residents of the two countries. After safely arriving at Ban Chiu Base in South Sudan, Vietnam's Level 2 Field Hospital Rotation 5 and Level 2 Field Hospital Rotation 6 immediately carried out the handover work with determination to ensure the continuous operation of the Vietnam's field hospital. The handover between the two hospitals was carried out urgently and strictly. Not only handling over facilities and operating procedures, Level 2 Field Hospital Rotation 5 also handed over to its newcomers valuable experience accumulated after a year of hard work. On the first day in Bantu, although it was a day off, the emergency team of the Level 2 Field Hospital Rotation 6 received 6 cases and 1 inpatient patient with malaria, who was a UN personnel. Coming up next, Vietnam and South Africa strengthen traditional friendship and cooperation. CPTPP agreement boosts Vietnam's trade. From September the 27th to October the 2nd in 2024, a high-ranking delegation of the Communist Party of Vietnam, led by Mr. Phan Đình Trạc, chairman of the Communist Party of Vietnam's Commission for Internal Affairs, paid a business visit to South Africa. Meeting with President of South Africa and President of the ruling African National Congress, Cyril Ramaphosa, Mr. Phan Đình Trạc affirmed that the party and state of Vietnam always attach importance to and pay attention to promoting friendship with traditional countries in the African region, including South Africa. Ramaphosa expressed his admiration for the achievements of the renewal process, economic development, and improvement of the people's life that Vietnam has achieved under the leadership of the Communist Party of Vietnam. At the meeting with the Speaker of the South African National Assembly, Thokozile Dadeza, both sides agreed to increase delegation exchange, share experience in operation and lawmaking activities between the two national assemblies, and continue working closely and offering mutual support at regional and global interparliamentary mechanisms. At the meeting with General Secretary of the South African Communist Party, Solly Mapaila, Comrade Phan Đình Trạc affirmed that the Communist Party of Vietnam treasures to strengthen the relationship with the SACP. The SACP General Secretary agreed with the cooperation proposals of the delegation, emphasizing the need for cooperation in political and ideological education for party members. On the morning of October the 2nd in Ho Chi Minh City, the 2024 Vietnam International Exhibition on Machine Tools and Metalworking Solutions for Production Upgrade, or Metalex Vietnam 2024 in short, took place. This is an opportunity for Vietnam to raise its position on the regional and international industrial map. The event attracts over 200 businesses from 20 countries and territories, bringing with them advanced technologies and solutions in the fields of mechanics, metalworking, and automation. The event gives domestic businesses a chance to update latest trends in the industry, skills of management, and technology application. These are essential preparations for Vietnam to not only become an attractive destination for investors, but also heighten its position on the regional and international industrial map. Through the event, Ho Chi Minh City also hopes to promote businesses to shift their production models to circular direction, reduce emissions, improve production efficiency, thus meeting the requirements of sustainable development during the period of green economic transition. After 5 years since coming into effect in January 2019, the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP for short, has played a significant role in boosting Vietnam's trade with American markets, especially with member countries like Canada, Mexico, Chile, and Peru. This was highlighted at a seminar titled CPTPP, Boosting Trade and Economic Cooperation with the Americas, organized by the Ministry of Industry and Trade on October the 2nd. According to statistics from the General Department of Vietnam's Customs, Vietnam's export to the American region have nearly doubled from $6.3 billion in 2018 to $11.7 billion in 2023. The trade surplus with these markets has also tripled, contributing positively to Vietnam's macroeconomic stability over the years. Notably, the agreement has yielded impressive results in industries considered to have competitive advantages. In reality, the agreement accounts for a considerable share of Vietnam's seafood exports. Currently, it represents about 25 to 27% of Vietnam's export value. Within this, some markets have shown substantial growth. In addition to these impressive figures, Vietnam's participation in the CPTPP has driven the country to carry out the institutional reforms and refined its legal framework towards greater transparency. This has not only helped businesses operate more professionally, but also enhanced Vietnam's international reputation, attracting more foreign investors. And that's all for now. Remember, you can always watch the news again at QPVN.vn. Now, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.